which desperately need a lot of insight is what's happening with this whole Trump tariffs. It has been crazy last 90 days or so ever since he took charge. It's been like a daily soap opera, and honestly, personally, I felt at some point just sick and tired of is this global geopolitics? It just one guy has just gone crazy. Is there a bigger picture behind all of this? Very difficult to understand what is going on. So what is the first overtake और क्या चल रहा है ये मतलब क्यों इतना dramatic तरीके से क्यों हो रही चीजें?
So first is that the large societies, when they have to change direction, how do you do it? You either you do it through bloodshed, or you elect a new leader who gets the message. And in this case, I think the message from the electorate is that there is a severe problem in the US economy. And as we discuss, you will see how serious those problems are. So, look, at this stage, I can see that there are some grand objectives. So underneath all the statements, and I'm also trying to prevent myself from seeing patterns where there are none. Because sometimes, in that simplification process, you end up creating things, hallucinate, and so therefore I'm relying also on pronouncements. So what has his Treasury Secretary Bessent said, his Commerce Secretary Lutnick said, Stephen Miran is Chairman of Council of Economic Advisors, Trump himself, and you see their actions, you see some of these pronouncements, and then you take a step back and say, okay, so what exactly are these guys trying to solve? And they may not have enunciated it. But so I think there are 4 objectives.
Let me just back up. These grand objectives are electorate's grand objective in some ways, and these guys are verbalizing and acting on it, और इलेक्टोरेट से मैंडेट मिल गया है इनके अपने ग्रैंड ऑब्जेक्टिव्स है.
नहीं, इसी इलेक्टोरेट ऐसे साफ तो बोलती नहीं है, राइट? सो इफ 1-2% वोट स्विंग से डिसीजन चेंज हो जाता है, सो ऐसा तो कोई आके बताएगा नहीं कि भाई हम कलेक्टिवली हम आपको ये बोल रहे हैं.
हाँ, बट सम टाइम होता है कि लाइक लोगों को चाहिए कि अब इमिग्रेशन नहीं होना चाहिए यार, हमारा कंट्री नहीं चाहते, तो दैट इज अ मोर पॉपुलर.
हाँ, दैट द नंबर ऑफ पीपल हु don't like immigration is now meaningful enough that collectively we should do that. And yeah, so there is, so I think the first big objective is political, which is that the US has had a significant increase in income inequality. So in the last 40 years, median per capita incomes in the real basis, मतलब inflation adjusted, or wages on a real basis have barely grown. So think about an economy which has gone from, competing with Japan, being smaller than Europe, to now by a mile the biggest economy in the world. And yet the bottom half of the population, this is the interesting thing about medians versus averages, the bottom of the population has not seen any improvement in standard of living, maybe marginal improvement in standard of living. A second striking data point is that if you take a white man who's a graduate and a white man who's not a graduate, the graduate white man's average life expectancy at birth is now 84 years. So it has gone like this. The life expectancy at birth for the average white man is flat. If it was going up a bit, then COVID ke beech mein gir gaya. I haven't been able to find the data behind this, but I heard a quote somewhere that the difference between a non-graduate white man and a graduate white man now is 17 years.
Wow, incredible.
So that tells you that there is a very deep-rooted political issue here. And Trump swept the non-graduate white man vote. Okay, so this is something that he feels is very important and needs to be addressed. Now, some of these problems I'm going to state are so complex that it's I don't think anyone has a solution. तो होता क्या है कि भाई ये नहीं चल रहा भाई, हम तोड़ देंगे इसको, अब देखते हैं क्या बनता है. I think that is how a lot of policy making happens, and I've been thinking about it a lot. There's fascinating stuff that has happened in the past. So this is one objective. So there's a political objective. There's also a military objective, which frankly the common man doesn't bother about too much. But call it the deep state, call it the elites, whoever. So an $86,000 per capita GDP economy, wanting to make steel, wanting to make aluminium, wanting to make penicillin, saying that we don't make ships anymore. If you had any doubts that this is preparation for war, Peter Navarro, who was his trade advisor, said, when asked, why do you want to impose 25% duties on autos? He said, oh, because they are the arsenal of democracy. And this phrase is a very striking and very evocative phrase because it was popularized by FDR, Franklin Roosevelt, in a speech given on the 29th of December, 1940. So Churchill had been pestering him, pleading with him that, look, please send me fighter aircraft. In 1939, the US had made 60 fighter aircraft. In that speech, Roosevelt said, we will use the arsenal of democracy to make 60,000 aircraft. In 1943, they did that. So when he gave that speech, see, US has always been divided, always been chaotic, noisy. So FDR had very left-wing views. So people ridiculed him. ये गधा है, मतलब ये क्या 60 बनाए, 60,000 बनाएंगे, दिमाग खराब है इनका. They made it. So in 1942, all the auto companies stopped making cars. They started making tanks and aircraft and ammunition. So they even started making gliders. So in fact, there was one factory, there's a book called The Arsenal of Democracy, which talks about Edsel Ford, who was the son of Henry Ford, and how Henry Ford and Edsel Ford were fighting. Henry Ford hated the guts of FDR.
Yeah.
Henry Ford had been given a Medal of Honor by Nazi Germany. So you don't know whether he was really a pacifist or whether he...
I hope he did not accept it.
He did.
He did?
Oh, yeah. So, in fact, it is striking that Edsel Ford went and signed a contract that we will make so many fighter aircraft and so many will go to Britain, so many will go to the US. And Henry forced him to renege. It was also the chaos that happens when you go into granular history is striking. Anyway, so the fact is that they think that auto manufacturing is critical.
But critical for what war? I mean, what are they anticipating?
There's only one war that can be anticipated.
How realistic is that?
I don't know.
See, is this mostly going to be trade war or is there... No?
You don't want to make steel and aluminium for a trade war.
Preparing for it still one thing versus, having a even, minuscule odds, but realistic, odds.
But odds hai na? See, what is happening now? You see what is happening in Israel suddenly wakes up and says, you know what, कोई देख तो रहा नहीं है, चलो गाजा हम ले लेते हैं. या जो इंडिया पाकिस्तान का हुआ, कि किसी को नहीं पड़ी है. See, पहले क्या था? There was an international order. There was at least, these are all man-made human myths that we all believed in. It was, ये करोगे तो international sanctions लगेंगे, ये लगेंगे. अभी क्या है? जिसको जो करना है करो.
At Sparks, we aim to bring to you stories of exponential impact. We share in-depth analysis of what goes behind success stories. If you find our conversations interesting, you can join us by subscribing to our YouTube channel. You can also listen to Sparks on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or any other audio platform of your choice. If you have any suggestions on who we should invite or what topics we need to cover, just let us know in the comments. We are always listening, looking for ways to improve, and keep getting better as we go along.